people talk about this whole, winter blues. I'll take the winter over this any day of the week. I get the summer sad skis. That's what I get. I get the summer sad skis. So that's what we're dealing with here. Apparently, we had no sound. We had no sound. Is this our first tech mess up of the transition to Twitch? Is this what's happening here? And now we have sound. Now we have sound. This is making me long for the days of Instagram Live back when the biggest problem was that I couldn't book a guest until about 7 o'clock. And now I don't even know if you're going to hear me. And if you can't hear me, then what's the use of any of this? Of course there's a use of this. Welcome. I am James. You are you. We are here for another edition of At Home with James, night 2. It is night 2 of our transition over to Twitch. Let's talk about last night for a second. Not only did we have the Tech Zone with Dave Kaufman and Carla Ma, we had Steph Mercier-Voyer. She thought we were on a date. I don't know what's going on there. More on that later. We had Sid Rock giving the top show moment in At Home with James history. And we also had CJAD 800 Sarah DeHay. And now we are bursting forth into episode 101 of At Home with James. And I want to graciously thank you so much for joining me, for spending night after night after night with me and not getting tired of this. You're not tired of this yet, and I appreciate you for it. On tonight's show, we got a whole lot going on. Coming up much later on, he's taken us in a one-way ticket to the Kauf Zone. Dave Kaufman will be here to provide us with some much-needed comedy, because who couldn't use a bit of comedy during this current difficult and uncertain time period that we're living with? Also, returning to the show is Carmen Rose, but she's not coming alone. She's bringing her couch. I will be on the couch with Carmen as she interviews me again. I can't wait for this. I have to be honest. I'm a little nervous. I'm a little nervous to be on Carmen's couch. Last time she was here was a hard-hitting interview. We dug in deep, and anyone who knows me knows that I'm a dangerously private person. She's going to get it out of me tonight. I can feel it. We're going to kick things off in just a moment with a first-time guest. Now, this is something that doesn't happen too often anymore in the world of At Home with James. We have a lot of fifth-time guests, 10th-time guests. This is a first-time guest, but this is a very special guest because this is all part of a brand new segment that I have dubbed James Sells Out. Now, if you're asking yourself, what does that mean? What does it mean for James to sell out? It means that I am going to source local businesses to meet me right here on twitch.tv/athomewithjames to promote whatever it is they work on, their passion project. That's what's going on. James sells out on the pursuit of finding his very first sponsor. So why do we wait? That's the question. I'm vamping super hard and you're like, James, who's this first-time guest? Well, this first-time guest is a multidisciplinary talent, dabbles with a bit of acting. He is a veteran of the pro wrestling world, but he also owns a pastry shop called Les Touriers. I want for you out there in Twitch TV land to put your hands together and welcome for the first time ever, my buddy, Benjamin Tull on At Home with James. What an intro.
Man. You really did good, James. Thanks a lot.
Benji, thanks for being here, buddy. First time guest.
Thanks for having me, man. I'm excited about that.
Well,
I thought you would have done it before, but hey, man, you're the kind of guy
it took
waits for it, huh?
Yeah, 101 episodes. It's only because you're a special guest, so I didn't want you to show up on Instagram and we were having technical difficulties. Before we get into it, can you tell me a little bit about this artwork that you've got behind your head?
Yeah, it's actually a photograph of a horse in the snow with all his long hair for the winter, you know. And well, actually, my girlfriend is a big horse riding fan, I should say, and so yeah, that's why it's something that I bought for her to put a little bit of herself into the house.
Well, that's so. Not only are you a good father, but you're a good husband at the same time too.
Well, I try to, man. You know, if you want to do the most part of your life with a person, you need to be nice with her once in a while. Time.
And this is why you're on the show, Benji, because I only want real family people on the show. I don't want anyone divorced on this show. This is a
Of
no
course
divorce
not.
zone.
Yeah,
No
yeah.
divorce zone. Let's get into it. This is the first edition of James Sells Out. I had mentioned that you are the proprietor of Les Touriers. Tell us what your business is all about.
At first, we started to supply coffee shop and restaurant all over Montreal in viennoiserie. I'm not even sure if there's an English word for that kind of pastry, but it's
Yep.
actually croissant, chocolatine. We're specialized in that kind of product. And but with the COVID and everything, we switched our stuff a little bit. So now we supply directly at home. We do deliveries.
Mm-hmm.
And I just came out with a new product, which is actually a frozen croissant that you can take directly from your freezer to the oven, and it's ready in 30 minutes. Where you're gonna have like a hot and crispy croissant for your brunch,
Mm-hmm.
and make people happy with it.
And how, like, not to turn this into a COVID thing, have you noticed a negative effect due to COVID in terms of business, or things are kind of stabilizing themselves?
No, it's really hard. I used to have about like 50 commercial customers,
Mm-hmm.
and now I'm about like around maybe 15, and it's not even half what they were ordering
Yeah.
before. But the frozen stuff really helped me a lot, and I really consider it would be the future of my company right now,
Mm-hmm.
because it's something that I could not only sell in Montreal, but now I can go anywhere in Quebec just to sell my stuff, because since it's frozen, it's something that I can sell in big batches and they can keep for a while. It's not like he needs 6 croissants every morning. I'm not gonna go to Blainville for that. That's for sure. But he,
Why
if he,
wouldn't you want to do that? You know, who doesn't want
well,
to go to Blainville for 6 croissants?
croissant exactly. But at the end of the week, if he buys me like say whatever 50 croissant, and it's only one stop for me during the day and everything, it's better that way. That's for sure.
Now you mentioned that these are able to go from the freezer to the oven. Can you tell people where they can find your products to make
Uh,
purchases?
right now, they need to go on our website or directly on our Instagram, DM us and ask us. Because right now, I don't do like I only do pre-orders. So you
Mhm.
need to buy to place your order 36 hours in advance. So we make sure that we prepare your stuff. With the COVID and everything, I don't want to have too much of an inventory, so I could
Mhm.
lose stuff. So yeah, pre-order with me directly or through our pages on the social media. That would be the best way to get to our stuff.
Now, this is a huge moment. That was the first ever commercial in the history of this show.
I hope I did good and
It was,
every
dude, it was better than
everybody.
good. I mentioned off the top that not only do you work in the food industry, but we know each other through the pro wrestling world. Of course, neither of us
Yeah.
have been able to touch each other in 4 months.
Nope, actually not.
No touching. How have you been doing with not being able to exercise your passion for pro wrestling?
Well, I took the time to actually work on all the difficulties I had with my body parts that was hurt by the 20 years of wrestling so far with no break. So for me, I took really the time for that, and I haven't stopped training in the gym and everything. So I keep myself active. But actually, I miss like hanging around backstage with you guys, like going to the FUF once a month to have a beer with you. Well, not you're not drinking beer, but still, like the socialized part
Yeah,
of the thing. Really, that's what I miss the most.
the
But
camaraderie, what brings us together.
exactly, and having matches against like close friends, which it's going to be simple, like maybe a 15 minutes of planning. That's all.
Hmm.
No headaches, no everything, and we're gonna have fun in the ring, and people are gonna enjoy it. That's some stuff that I really miss, but I don't miss like getting beat up or
Yeah.
like having a difficult planning with somebody that I don't really know, and we don't see the
Hmm.
match the same way and stuff like that. So I'm a bit like not separated, but I feel weird about the fact that sometimes I really miss it, but other times I don't miss it at all. I
Yeah.
haven't had like weekends forever, and now I do have them. So even though I have a pretty busy week, back then, like a couple months ago, when I had those kind of stuff, it was really hard for me because I was thinking to myself, well, I still won't be there on weekends for my family.
Yeah.
But now even my week is pretty busy. I feel fine about it because
Yeah.
I know I'll be there with my family on Saturday and Sunday, which is better for
Again,
everything.
a good family man. A
Well,
good
I try to.
You had mentioned that you've been working hard in the gym. We've discussed this privately. I was thinking about taking steroids, and I'm wondering if we could somehow get some steroids into the croissants. And
uh,
that's how I take steroids, is a steroid croissant or
yeah,
chocolatine.
I actually won't do that because first of all, I don't want to get my stuff being taken down by the government.
Okay,
And
that's fair.
at the other on the other side, though, if you want to go on steroids, I'll just tell yourself like help yourself. But at the
Mhm.
same time, I think that you don't have to mix like greasy food
Mm.
and steroids. I think you need to eat clean to have the best result that you can get. So
All right.
I'm just saying I'm saying that I'm saying nothing like
Yeah.
I'm not telling you to do steroids,
It
but
sounds
if
like you're
you're
telling
gonna
me to do steroids, Benji.
no.
Sounds like
If
you
you're
want me to do steroids.
well, I told you you can have a pretty good shape if you do it, but you need to do it the right way if you're
Yeah.
gonna do it.
This is the reality, guys. Everyone watching who doesn't know that I'm part of wrestling, all of my friends want me to do steroids. And so I'm getting peer pressured. So, in addition to wrestling and having your own shop, Benji, I also know you as a bit of a foodie.
Yeah.
You like a nice meal, but you're not a food snob. So, what I've done is I've prepared kind of like a rapid fire series of questions. I don't want you to think about the answers too much. If there's anything
Hmm.
that I know about the audience of this show, it's that they like discussions about food. So, if you're ready, I'm going to hit you with a series of rapid fire questions about
Okay.
food specific to the city, Montreal. We'll keep it to Montreal, but if something really
Yeah.
stands out, maybe it's in Quebec City or something like that, let me
Yeah.
know. Okay, so are
Okay.
you ready?
Yes, I am.
Here we go. Best burger.
I really enjoy the Uni Burger place in Montreal.
That's
Uh,
my dream sponsor. It's my dream sponsor.
I really enjoy it, but at the same time, oh, it's hard to say. There's a lot of places, but you still have Tousignan
Hmm.
in the Little Italy that does a good
Yep.
one, and Pastaga right now is a restaurant. Sorry, on Saint Laurent Street that does lunches. You have three kinds of burgers, and
Hmm.
it's actually the bread is made by ourselves. So
Okay.
if you want to have a good one, the Pastaga is a great option too. And if you're a big fan of natural wines, you have a good selection there.
Okay. So if you want to get your drink on while you have a burger, there you go. How about this best hot dog?
Uh, wow. For me, a hot dog, it doesn't have to be, it shouldn't be like big and fancy. So
Hmm.
I'll just go straight up with a regular, like Belle Province.
Okay.
For a
Classic. Now,
steamy, if you go for a roasted one, I really enjoy the Supreme at La Fleur, which is
mhm.
with a piece of yellow cheese and bacon in it, which
Okay,
is
so
already,
we're getting very very at home with that type of
yeah.
that's a classic Quebec hot dog at LaFleur's. Let's
Yeah,
go with
and once in a while, if you go at Slovenia and you have like a
mhm.
European hot dog, it's always nice.
We're giving so many businesses free publicity right now. This is going to be
Yeah.
a controversial one. No matter how you answer, it's going to be controversial.
Yeah.
Best poutine.
Wow. I don't really listen. For me, a good poutine has to be brown gravy.
Mhm.
Like I'm not down with that barbecue sauce type of poutine. It's
Mhm.
good, like it's okay, but like for me, a real good poutine. So I'll stick with La Fleur for that.
Mhm.
I think they do a great gravy for the poutine, and and I know this is gonna sound maybe awful for some people, but Jarry smoked meat
Mhm.
does a really good gravy. But the thing is, they do shredded cheese on it, which just doesn't bother me that much
I
if you
think just
eat it.
tell me if you're going to do it. You have to tell me
Yeah,
beforehand. I don't
exactly,
want to order
exactly.
curd cheese and get goddamn mozzarella. Just
No,
tell me and I'll
I
be
get it.
okay.
Yeah, exactly. But if you eat it on the spot, like if you eat it in their dining room, I think it's more than okay. And the gravy is really salty and brown, and that's what makes everything goes well together. So
Got it.
I'm fine with it. But I know it's not going to be a popular choice.
Well, again, it's going to be poutine is always a controversial one. Let's go best pizza.
Recently, okay. Well, depends. I gotta say something. I'm part of I'm from the suburbs of Montreal on the South Shore, and the Pizza Hut near my area, it doesn't deliver. So
Okay.
there's nowhere I can get Pizza Hut delivered at home. So I don't know why, but for me, eating a fucking Pizza Hut is always a fucking thing for me, right?
That's a shocking answer that you
I
were
know.
going with Pizza Hut.
And I'm going with the stuffed crust, that's for
Yep.
sure. But at the same time, I'm gonna get more foodie on that one. There's a well-known chef by the French-speaking people in Montreal that he's called Danny Saint Pierre, and Danny Saint Pierre has a little place on Ontario, close to Sanguinet, which is called right now Accommodation Danny Saint Pierre, and he does pan pizza for sale. They have a deal like four pan pizza for $40, and if you buy a bottle of wine, the pizza is $1. Margarita pizza is $1, and they put so much cheese that in the pan the cheese goes to the bottom, so your crust is like really cheesy and everything. And it's
Okay.
a really nice one. And you do flavors like French onion soup, rapidin sausage, like stuff like that. You always get wild on their flavors, and I really enjoyed it lately. It was a nice.
Okay, so this guy's getting funky with his pizza.
Yeah, but not too much. You still have like the margarita, or you can have the pepperoni and cheese.
Yep.
But at the same time, it always has a funky choice on the side that you could try. And I haven't been. I always been happy with it so far.
All right, here we go. Best food trend. So what's the best food trend currently in your opinion?
Oh wow. You know what? It's kind of hard because I feel like there's no really trend right now. Like I'm gonna say that, and another foodie is gonna like pop something up. That's for sure. But
Yeah, you're going to start a
like
food war. There's going to be a foodie who's going to think that you don't know what you're talking about, that you
yeah,
don't have the best.
probably. But seriously, I don't care about that because like eating is so much personal, and it's so a question of where you are in your day, what you feel for, and
Mhm.
like you could bring me into like the nicest like 5-star restaurant tomorrow and I'll enjoy it because that's how I felt I needed to eat
Yes.
now. But like McDonald's is awesome, like, but at 3 a.m.
Yep.
after a night out with friends, you won't get it better than that. But if you want to take out your girlfriend for a nice dinner, like you need to know that McDonald's is probably not the
Probably
good
not going to
place.
do it. No.
Exactly. So after like snubbing people for their taste, I find it sad because you cannot like it. Somebody who's not educated and doesn't want to, I think that's the type of a person that you need to snub because she's not open and she wants to stick to that, and she doesn't care about anything else. But somebody who tries, who explored it and knows what he wants,
Mhm.
that's different for me. So,
Okay, you got
and I
really
forgot.
intense there. You got very
Yeah.
intense with that answer.
Oops, sorry, I got emotional.
No, it's okay.
Sometimes happens, but
Food is an emotional thing.
yeah, and I forgot the question. So
That's okay. Don't worry about it. I have one more for you.
okay.
Best pastries.
Well, what kind of pastry you're talking
You
about?
tell me. This is I'm throwing you a softball here to hit a home
Yeah.
run.
For the croissant, we're talking about Les Touriers. That's for
Yeah, there we
sure.
go.
This is the best place. But for other kind of pastries, if you want to have like me, I'm a big fan of lemon and meringue pie. Like this is like one of my best dessert. And there's a place on the Plateau Mont Royal in Montreal that's called Crémy, and he actually does donuts. That's what he's known for. But he does a lemon and meringue pie, which is out of this world. He's one of my clients, so the croissant that he serves you are mine. But every time I go do a delivery there, I come back with a pie in my car, and
And you
that's
give it
it.
to your family. You share it with your family because you're a good
Absolutely.
family man.
Yeah, exactly. It's gonna be the dessert for the supper that night. That's for sure.
Benji, before I let you go, I have one final question. Of course, this is James Sells Out. Now that I've had you come on the show, we've talked about wrestling. We've talked about local eats. We've talked, of course, about Les Touriers. My final question is, are you going to give me some free products?
Absolutely no.
Well, you can't fault me for trying. Benji, thanks so much for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. And let's talk soon, okay?
It's all right. And I don't want to give it to you because I heard that you're a big Première Moisson fan. So just go in front of the other side of the street and get your fucking nasty croissant from Première Moisson.
I love that part of your pitch for your company is to destroy other companies. That's a great way to end this, Benji. Thanks so much, dude, and we'll talk soon, okay?
You're welcome. Thanks for having me. I had a blast.
The pleasure is all mine. That is Benjamin Tull. He is the proprietor of Les Touriers. You can purchase exactly what he has been promoting: fresh made croissants. They're in the freezer. You take them out, you put them in the oven, you cook them, you eat them, and then you know what happens after that? You have a family. You find yourself a partner, you make love, and you have a family. And isn't that what we're all trying to do right now in this crazy world? Some of us can't do it. If you're single, COVID, you can't meet someone. You can't seduce someone with croissants. Maybe you can. Maybe that's the one condition to break the rules of physicality during the times of COVID. You bake some fresh croissants and you win over a prospective lover. That's what I think. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go to the website for Les Touriers and pick up some of these croissants and then try to win myself a lover. Because that's what people say when they want a lover, right? They want to win a lover. I'm making myself sick. Let's move on to our next segment. You know this upcoming guest because for some time, we never could really get on the same page. And what changed? Well, this is what changed. She has her own segment on the show. So without any further ado, I'm going to relinquish the reins of At Home with James, and I'm going to pass them on to the host of On the Couch with Carmen. Here is Carmen Rose. On the Couch with Carmen. Carmen, it's so nice to speak to you. It's so nice to see you again. And may I say that your couch is looking wonderful.
Hi, James, and hi, everyone, and welcome to On the Couch with Carmen.
Carmen, and this is my couch. And you still haven't got a microphone. It's a brush, right?
Yes, but it does the trick just fine. Now, here on the Couch with Carmen, we like to pull off the layers and dig deep. Find out more about the man we've all come to love.
Love is strong. Love is a strong word.
James, please let me continue my intro.
Yeah. Sorry.
James McGee. We like to let him lean back, put his feet up, and take a seat on the couch, where the asker becomes the askee.
The asker?
Yes.
You mean the host?
The question asker becomes the askee.
All right.
So please take a seat, James. Cozy up. Put your feet up. Relax. And enjoy.
Is part of your introduction asking me to sit down, relax, and put my feet up twice?
Yes.
Great.
It's very important that I get this point across.
I can tell.
So tonight, everybody, I'm putting my microphone down again. Tonight, we will be talking about matters of the heart.
Okay, so that feels like a pretty seamless transition from what we were just talking about with our first guest, Benji, family man.
Yes. We will discuss romance. And later, we will have what I like to call Carmen's surprise.
Oh, so Carmen. Yeah, great. I think you tried to play something. We couldn't hear it very well, but that's fine.
So I hear you have a second date coming up, James.
What's that?
I said, I hear you have a second date coming up.
I haven't had a first date. I'm not certain that I know what you're talking about.
I believe that you had a first date last night on your 100th episode.
Oh, no, that was a miscommunication. So I suspect you're referring to when Steph Mercier-Voyer popped in and thought that her and I were on a date when, in fact, I just asked her to be on the show. That was more of a miscommunication.
Well, it looked like a date to me. And like you have a second one coming up this Saturday.
Now, are you referring to Saturday's edition of the show?
Yes.
Of course, when for the first time ever, we all go into the Ruth booth where, I guess begrudgingly on some level, I am going to team up with Steph and we are going to take on another couple and see what we can do in order to win a round of Dr. Ruth's Game of Good Sex hosted by Dave Kaufman. Dr. Dave.
Like I said, a second date.
Right. Okay.
So, how do you feel about this second date coming up?
Well, I haven't put any thought about it being a second date because I wasn't under the impression that the first date was a date. So I haven't thought about it as a date.
You sound nervous. It's understandable.
That's a good thing?
Yes. You know, dating is all about becoming more vulnerable.
Oh, I know. Mm-hmm.
So it sounds like you're on the right path.
Yeah.
You know, James, finding a partner in life is very important, maybe one of the most important things that we do.
Sure.
So you're on your way. Now, I'd like to know, and I'm sure all the ladies out there would like to know, what are some qualities that you look for in a partner?
Oh, Carmen. I don't know. Nice to be nice. That's always a good thing to be nice. We have a good rapport. We can communicate, free flowing conversation. I don't know. Maybe that's it. That's always a good thing. Thinks I'm funny. Is that a quality to think that I'm funny?
I guess.
Has a sense of humor. Has a sense of humor. Sense of humor, of course. There we go. So they have to be nice. They have to have a sense of humor, otherwise known as think that I'm funny, and we have to be able to have a conversation.
Is that all? Is that your only criteria?
Well, I don't know. What other criteria would one need?
I don't know, values, morals.
Values? No, I think that people can have different values. I mean, it depends if you're like into atrocities. I would say that it doesn't work. But then again, if you're really nice to me.
So they have to be nice. You have to be able to talk with them, and they have to think you're funny.
Sense of humor.
Sense of humor.
They don't have to think that I'm funny. They don't have to, but it would be a nice treat.
Sounds like Stephanie might just be the one for you.
Well, yeah, let's move on to the next question.
What is your idea for the perfect first date? I want you to
perfect first date. What's my idea? Like, how do you mean? What does the date look like, or what is the activity?
Describe your perfect first date.
Probably something low pressure. I would say perhaps maybe having a coffee and a walk or something like that, where we can get like, what's the original one is like, oh, let's go see a movie, but then you can't talk. So it's good to be near each other, but you can't really engage on any level. I would go have dinner, maybe some pastries or something like that. Have a conversation, or now currently get on a Zoom chat.
Right.
Right.
Okay, now we're going to go through some do's and don'ts of dating. I'm going to say some things, and I want you, James, to tell me if it is a dating do or a dating don't.
Right. Okay.
Holding the door open.
I mean, I think that's just a general do in life. I do that for people.
What about paying for the meal?
I think every circumstance is different, but sure, I think that it doesn't have to be necessarily reliant on the male, but I think our social norms have swayed us that way, but I have no problem with that. But if it doesn't happen, that's okay too.
Is chivalry dead, James?
Is chivalry dead? I suppose that's in the eye of the beholder. And how is that a do or don't?
Chivalry in general, do or don't?
I would say do. Why not? I don't think it's a bad thing.
Very interesting.
Right.
Discussing exes or dating history.
I would say if I'm not going to bring it up, but if somebody brings it up, I wouldn't be that bothered by it. I would say that I'm pretty low maintenance with things like that. I suppose it would depend on what the conversation is, right? If the person's like, oh, me and my ex used to love coming to this restaurant. And then later on, oh, me and my ex used to live in this area. But if it was just like, oh yeah, I took a trip to New York in 2010 with an ex. Like I suppose I guess it's easier to say probably don't do it, but if you're on a date with me, I do not care that much.
What about discussing your first kiss?
Sure, why not? I don't think that's a problem on a first date. That could be like a cute thing. I've never done it, but if someone were to bring it up, I'd say, okay, well, I guess we're talking about this. As long as it wasn't some type of controversial first kiss.
You heard it here first, folks, on the couch with Carmen. Talk about your first kiss when dating James McGee.
You don't have to, but it doesn't bother me if you do.
It's a dating do.
It's a dating do, or yeah, sure.
How about making fun of the date?
Yeah, that's a do for me. Yeah. But it's probably a don't for everyone else.
It's good to know. This is all very good information, James.
Yeah. Yeah, it's great. Anyone out there, if you're ever going on a date with me, I'm going to make fun of you. There's very little difference between dating me and being in the audience as I host a show.
So, James, would you say that we're all on a date with you here?
Apparently so, yeah. It's a very platonic date, though. It's just a friend date.
I don't know how Stephanie will feel about that.
Well, that's her prerogative.
Hand holding.
That seems strong on a first date, but who am I to say? I've never done it, but if someone held my hand, I'd probably think it was pleasant.
Well, then what about smooching?
Smooching on a first date? It's not for me, but again, if it happens, then what are you going to do? You're going to say if you're feeling the as they say in the romance world, electricity, you know?
So it's a don't unless you do, in which case it's a do.
Yes, yeah, exactly. As astutely put as that, it's a don't unless you do. In that case, do. All of my answers are, I don't know, I'm fine either way.
Yes, I'd like to hear some more, passionately do or don'ts.
Okay, that's true. This is your segment. I'm evading answers.
You were evading. It's because you're nervous for your date.
Yeah, my date.
Talking about your mother.
Again, it's circumstantial. If someone's constantly talking about their mother on the date, like, oh, me and my mother used to come here, and me and my mother used to live in this area. My mother just died. I really miss my mother. Although maybe that wouldn't bother me that much. I think it would be like not a nice thing to share, but I would say specifically probably talking about your parents on a first date is a don't. But if it happens, okay.
And your family?
I think people love talking about their family. I probably wouldn't do it on a date, no.
What about political views? Anything political?
I mean, it's probably not a good idea on a first date, and if you're worried that you're going to say something that's going to upset someone, but I think if two people are reasonably minded, you can have a discussion like adults.
Another don't for James. Cooking for someone. Would you cook for someone on the first date?
That's a hard don't for me. I don't even cook for myself on a Wednesday.
Interesting.
That's a strong first date. I think that's strong. Hey, come over and I'll make you macaroni and cheese with hot dogs chopped up into it.
Now,
James,
do you have any you would like to add to the dating do's or don'ts?
I would say probably don't come on too strong. That seems like par for the course. Do your best to have open conversation. Do fun things. Yeah, I would say, I don't know, it's a first date. I don't think you have to put all your cards on the table. Just be, man. Just be cool, man. But sometimes first dates you can't be cool.
Yes, there's a lot of flipping and flopping going around.
Yeah, I guess what we're understanding is that I don't know about anything. That's why you're hosting the dating segment and I'm on the receiving end of it.
Right. Would you like to know my tips?
I think not only would I like to know them, I'm sure a lot of people would like to know Carmen's dating tips.
Okay, Carmen's dating tip number 1. Always dress for the occasion.
Okay.
What are you planning on wearing this Saturday?
Well, I was thinking something like this, where when I host the show, well, I usually wear something like this, except for special occasions. So probably this, but with a different flannel.
Okay.
What do you think?
I think that you could spiff it up a bit. I
Really?
think
Okay.
it's always good to look your best when you're on a first date or
I've gone on first dates wearing basically this.
And who are you dating now, James McGee?
No one. Okay, point taken.
Tip number 2, always compliment your date.
Sure. Yeah.
So what compliment will you give Stephanie this Saturday?
Well, this is not a date, but I suppose if it was a compliment, I'd say, "Oh, I'm really happy to see you. I'm so glad that we're doing this together." I think doing this Ruth booth activity is like a really fun way to enjoy each other's company.
Great. Tip number 3, make them feel like they're the only boy or girl in the world.
Yeah, the desperation in your voice as you delivered that tip was something.
What did you say? I didn't hear you.
I was saying that the desperation in your voice was really something there. Okay, so make them feel like they're the only one.
Yes.
Well, we're going to be on a show with 3 other people, so
you admit that it's a date.
no, I don't admit that it's a date. I'm saying that hypothetically, if it was, I suppose I have no choice but making Steph feel like the only one because we are working in tandem. It's
Very
almost
good.
like couples bowling.
Exactly. Wonderful. I think tip number 4, chivalry is not dead.
Okay.
Chivalry can be done through intersexually. It doesn't matter which gender you are, you can be chivalrous.
Sure.
Hold the door. She'll try to hold the door. You'll both try to hold the door. It'll be a cute moment.
Well, there's no doors because we're going to be on the show.
We're talking dating in general also.
Okay,
James.
I understand.
And tip number 5, don't forget to take a shower before your date.
That is very good. You want to look your best. Look your freshest as a daisy.
That's right.
Okay, well, I think this is good. How did you feel about my do's and don'ts?
Yes, I think that they're pretty good. I think you could stand to be more certain about your answers, but
I guess I'm just an easygoing character.
very good. James, I think it's time for Carmen's surprise.
Okay, so the classic air horn noise being played off of your phone, I'm assuming. Yeah, Carmen's surprise. So last week you had me perform Carmen's Revenge, which was doing stand-up. What does Carmen's surprise have in store for me?
Well, I, in fact, was speaking with Stephanie earlier today.
Okay.
And she would like you to know that she's been studying the Kama Sutra manual.
Oh, that's terrifying.
And she sent you one in the mail. It's in the mail. It should arrive tomorrow. FedEx confirmation number 69. It'll be at your door. And you are all set to go for Saturday.
You're saying that she mailed me samples of the Kama Sutra for an online show that we're doing on Saturday in which we cannot exchange any physical contact.
That's right.
All right. And what was that FedEx number?
69.
69. Great. Well, this certainly was a surprise, Carmen. And I know I usually ask this of Steph, but I feel like since you're here, and certainly this discussion was a lot more based in romance and testing the waters, whereas Steph's is a lot more vulgar. Carmen, do you have any tips for people out there looking for love in these just difficult times?
I think the number one thing remains the same and remains true from regular times or COVID times is just be yourself and enjoy yourselves and be present with the other person.
Be present with the other person. So basically do the opposite of what I was suggesting. And don't wear this outfit.
Don't wear that outfit.
What would you dress me in? What would you suggest?
I thought the outfit you wore for your first date was great.
So you mean yesterday, not the first date, the first show on Twitch.
Yeah.
So blazer with a button down and a tie.
That's right.
Hat or no hat?
No hat.
No hat. That feels like a strong second date option though.
A hat?
Well, no, the outfit.
Yes.
Yeah, that feels too much, doesn't it?
For a second date?
Yes.
Yes, I think what you're wearing now is good for a second date.
Okay, great. So avoid this on a first date.
Yes.
Because you might tip off the person that you're dating that you're constantly aspiring to look like a Tony Hawk pro skater.
That's right.
Okay, well, Carmen, do we have any a bit of a preview of what to expect the next time we're on the couch with Carmen?
We will. No, it'll be another one of Carmen's surprises.
Okay, so yep. Yeah, come, we're live, Carmen. Yeah, oh God. Well, not only will Carmen's surprise be a surprise, but next week's topic will also be a surprise.
But get ready. So thank you everybody for joining us on the couch with Carmen. I am Carmen, you are James, everyone is everyone. And I hope that you all have a great night. Happy dating. I hope your hearts are filled with love and joy. Thank you. Goodbye.
Well, that was Carmen Rose. I was on the couch with Carmen. In case you're confused, no, that was not Delilah from Star 92.9. What an exit, though. That was it. I am Carmen. You are James. We are everyone. I hope your heart is filled with love. What an outro from Carmen Rose. She got warmed up at about the 19-minute mark and delivered the line with such precision. Let's talk about tomorrow night. We will be back right here on twitch.tv/@home-with-James. It's going to be a big show tomorrow night. The Crapola Corner returns with Carla Ma. You saw her last night in the Tech Zone. She'll be here. She's no longer evil. She's going to be showing off some of her favorite things that are festering in her closet, otherwise known as Crapola. In addition to that, coming into port is going to be the man known as the Captain. Dimitri Kires will be back and probably drinking an Old Milwaukee or maybe a Wildcat. That happens tomorrow night. I also cannot stress this enough. Do not miss Friday's show. Andy Asaf is going to be here. Steph Mercier-Voyer is going to be here with COVID-69. I guess we're going on a pre-date. But I am also introducing a second new segment this week. It debuts on Friday. It is the Clash of the Super Nerds. That's right. We're on Twitch, the nerdiest website on the internet. I have invited two nerds to join me, and we're going to figure out which one of these two super dweebs has what it takes to be the champion of Twitch. We're going to ask them a series of questions, a series of scenarios. That is on Friday. The first matchup in the Clash of the Super Nerds pits Canadian improv games legend Mark Rowland versus role-playing mega dork Jess Fields. Now, if you're out there watching, don't take any of that personally. I say it lovingly. Folks, we are about to charge into our final segment of the night. You know him. You love him. He is now the director and producer of this show. Let's welcome, coming in hot with the Kauf Zone, he is Dave Kaufman. Dave, welcome, buddy.
Hey, what's going on?
I couldn't be happier to see you. How's the production working? It's we can see some of your director setup.
That's right. These are the monitors. I'm making sure everything's running smoothly, including having no audio to start the show.
Yeah, so let's chat about that. This is our only second tech burp of the 2 days. We've had one each day. So take us through it, Dave. What do you think happened there?
Well, I know exactly what happened. I didn't turn the audio on.
Okay, so that's not to turn this into the Tech Zone, a very fixable issue.
Yeah, absolutely. That won't be happening again unless I do it again.
Yeah, and that's okay. We're getting the hang of it. It's like when you move into a new apartment, you've lived in the same place for some time. We cannot express how exponentially more difficult it is to run this show than it was the Instagram show. Is that fair to say, David?
It's absurd.
It is absurd.
A lot more work.
And I know that you're controlling the chat. You're out there in the chat right now, everyone. Thanks so much for joining tonight. Dave, let's not get too heavy into the tech stuff. This is the Kauf Zone. This is all about comedy. And rumor has it, you've got something you've been working on.
Well, I'm sort of out of traditional Kauf Zone bits. I've done a lot of segments, and they've been dubbed hit or miss.
Right.
Which I can't necessarily disagree with. So I want to test out a few mini segments over the next few episodes. And this is a little mini segment.
This is huge because we had the first edition of James Sells Out. I didn't get any free croissants out of it, but I might be taking steroids soon.
Awesome.
And we had On the Couch with Carmen return for the second edition. And then I just announced the Clash of the Super Nerds.
That's perfect. This is much less than that.
Okay.
So I'm going to introduce this game. Basically, James, I'm going to need you to decide which one of the people I name you would rather invite over for a dinner party, invite over for an orgy, or sit next to in a bathroom stall.
Okay, so this almost sounds like your own unique version of the F, Marry, Kill game.
I think they're pretty different.
Well, yeah, they're pretty different. Once again, they are invite over for a dinner party, invite to an orgy, and sit next to in a bathroom stall.
That's correct. Yes.
So, yeah, okay, great. Yeah, they are very different. That's
extremely different.
Yeah.
And by the end of it, you're going to have a party. You're going to have an orgy. And you're going to take a communal dump with a bunch of your favorite celebrity friends.
There's going to be a panel of people that I'm going to be defecating with.
That's correct.
Okay, great.
Are you ready?
I'm absolutely ready for the first edition of Invite to a Dinner Party, Invite to an Orgy, Sit Next to in a Bathroom Stall with Dave Kaufman.
Perfect. Your first three options: Jennifer Aniston, Reese Witherspoon, or Missy Elliott. Which one do you invite over for dinner? Do you invite to an orgy? Or do you take a dump next to in a bathroom stall?
Okay, I think bathroom stall, I guess I'm going to go with... Wait, which was the second name?
Reese Witherspoon.
It was Jennifer... Yeah, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
On Apple TV.
Yeah, I'm going to go to the bathroom with Reese Witherspoon.
Why?
I just think it's you wouldn't expect to see Reese Witherspoon in a bathroom with you. So I think
novelty.
Yeah, it's a novel. Yeah, so I'm picking her for the novelty. I'm going to bring Missy Elliott to the dinner party because I don't like dinner parties and I feel like Missy Elliott would be like a pretty good time. And I'm going to take Jennifer Aniston to the orgy because I think she's pretty normal. She seems in terms of celebrity pretty normal. And I'm dangerously normal. So I think that we would get along. We'd be able to be like, hey, this is kind of weird, right, Jennifer? Right? I know.
That sounds like how it would go.
Yeah.
You want to continue that conversation?
No, I don't want to have to impersonate Jennifer Aniston any more than I did.
All right, next. Ricky Gervais, Ricky Martin, and Ricky Lake.
Okay, that's an interesting... I'm gonna bring Ricky Gervais to the dinner party because I think he would cause some type of controversy that would again create some type of fun at the dinner party. I don't like dinner parties. Ricky Martin, I think I'm gonna bring to the orgy because he just looks like he fits in at an orgy.
She bangs also.
Yeah, when what was it? Shake Your Bonbon, Livin' La Vida Loca. I feel like he's often drenched in a lot of his videos. I think he fits in at an orgy. And then Ricky Lake, I think, fits in a bathroom really well. Like that one, as opposed to Reese Witherspoon, I can imagine running into Ricky Lake in a bathroom.
All right. Mark it down.
Yep.
Next. Ellen, Rosie O'Donnell, and Dale Bernier.
And Dale Bernier? Well, I'm going to bring Dale Bernier to the orgy.
Okay.
Because I feel like he'd do a pretty good job of checking in on everyone. And if there's any chairs that need to be set up, he'd help with that for any sexually based chair-based sexual activity. I think I'm going to bring, yeah, it's very practical. I think I'm going to bring Ellen DeGeneres. We're talking DeGeneres and not Ellen Cleghorn, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, we're going to
remember there is the Ellen is mean campaign.
I'm going to bring Ellen to the dinner party because, again, I think it would really bring on a lot of great conversation. Because look at who is at the dinner party thus far. You have myself, Missy Elliott, Ricky Gervais, and Ellen DeGeneres. And then I'm going to bring Rosie O'Donnell to the bathroom. I don't like that I'm the only guy amongst these women so far. But I think Rosie O'Donnell, again, I could see her, and I think she would probably make the bathroom less awkward. She'd probably make some jokes.
Yeah.
It would really
probably she'd rag on Donald Trump.
Yeah. Oh, that is very good. I like hearing her rag on DT.
All right. Next, you got Ray Romano, Drew Carey,
yep,
and Steve Harvey.
I'm going to bring Steve Harvey to the bathroom.
Okay.
I think him and Rosie would do some great tandem work together. Like Steve Harvey, for as much as people don't like him, is kind of an awesome host on Family Feud. He's great at reactionary things. So I think he'd probably have a pretty good quip when somebody drops a huge ass bomb.
He would make a good face too.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he would be behind in a stall.
Yeah, but you could feel that he was doing it.
Yeah, this is true. What were the Drew Carey and who? Ray Romano?
Ray Romano.
I think I'm going to bring Ray Romano to the orgy.
Great choice.
Yeah, I'm glad we agree. Ray Romano is going to the orgy just because I think he's just another he seems like a normal celebrity. And then Drew Carey, I'm going to bring to the dinner party because I think he'd be someone that you could have like a private conversation with. He'd be like, hey, this is kind of crazy. Things are it's crazy in here right now. It's kind of crazy. I'm going to bring Drew Carey to the dinner party because we need someone to stabilize things.
You got it. All right. Next, Katie Lang, Celine Dion.
Yep.
Bruce Coburn.
Oh, this is the worst one so far. I think I'm going to bring Celine Dion to the orgy. Just because I think that so many of her songs are about romance and passion that they go hand in hand. I think so. Celine Dion's coming to the orgy. I'm going to bring Bruce Coburn to the washroom.
Okay.
I'm going to bring Bruce Coburn to the washroom. Just because I feel like he'd be nice and quiet. Bruce Coburn keeps it on the DL. Katie Lang, I'm going to bring to the dinner party. I think Katie Lang would probably be the entertainment for the dinner party. Katie Lang's music is very dinner party-ish.
All right. We'll do one more.
Mm-hmm.
Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
Sure.
Miss Frizzle from the Magic School Bus,
the cartoon character. Okay.
And Dog the Bounty Hunter.
This is hard because Dog the Bounty Hunter is great for all three scenarios.
Yeah. You want to put him in all three?
Yes, that's what I want to do. Okay. So I'm gonna use my host power. Dog the Bounty Hunter simultaneously appears at the dinner party, the orgy, and in the bathroom.
Okay, but you gotta give an activity to Bill Nye and Miss Frizzle.
Does it have to be affiliated with these two, the other options?
Could be anything. But they expect to be at one of these events, but you got to send them to something else.
Okay, I send them somewhere else. Okay, Miss Frizzle, I send to a parent-teacher interview, I guess.
For who?
I send Miss Frizzle to a parent-teacher interview, and Bill Nye the Science Guy, I send him into a clash of the mega nerds, a competition with Neil deGrasse Tyson.
All right.
So I guess at this point we're about to go through each category and panel to determine who I want to have a dinner party with, an orgy with, and be in a communal bathroom with.
All right, James. So this is the orgy you're about to have.
Yep.
James McGee, Jennifer Aniston, Ricky Martin, Dale Bernier, Ray Romano, Celine Dion, and Dog the Bounty Hunter.
This is brutal.
It's a great orgy.
Yeah, it's a great orgy.
Dinner party. James, you're having a dinner party, and guess who's coming? Missy Elliott, Ricky Gervais, Ellen So Mean, Drew Carey, Katie Lang, and Dog the Bounty Hunter.
You know what?
And finally.
Yeah, the dinner party sounds pretty fun.
It sounds great.
Yeah.
But so does the orgy.
Yeah.
And so does after the orgy and after the dinner.
Yeah.
Your stomach's rumbling. You rush to the closest washroom and sit in a stall. And who's in there with you? But Reese Witherspoon, Ricky Lake, Rosie O'Donnell, Steve Harvey, Bruce Coburn, and Dog the Bounty Hunter.
All right. The dinner party in the bathroom sound awesome. The orgy sounds like a nightmare. It sounds like an absolute nightmare in which I think no one would be participating in any type of intimate activity.
Hey, it's your orgy, man.
I
would have picked differently.
Yeah. Well, just out of curiosity, where would have Dog the Bounty Hunter landed on your list?
I probably would have had a nice dump next to Dog the Bounty Hunter.
So we agree.
We agree. Yeah.
We agree.
Oh, and by the way, Bill Nye's at the Clash of the Nerds with Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Miss Frizzle's at a parent-teacher interview, presumably with one of the students' parents.
In a cartoon.
In a cartoon.
Well, Dave, I think this segment is a keeper. We'll leave it up to the chat. We'll let them decide. I quite like this. This is almost something I think we could do with some guests. So I think it's almost like we're going back into the tech zone. We've QA tested that segment. I think it's a win. Go with it.
Let's do it.
Dave, should I expect to see you tomorrow night?
Well, someone's got to man the booth.
It's not me anymore. I don't know anything.
Well, I'm going to have to teach you.
All right. Well, Dave, thank you so much for being here tonight. I love you. That was Dave Kaufman, who I think burped at the end of his segment. Folks, we have come to the precipice of this show. I want to thank our first guest, Benjamin Tull. You can find so many of his delicious products on lestouriers.com. In addition to that, we had Carmen Rose. I was so grateful to sit on her couch and understand the ways of love and maybe what I've been doing wrong in my love life, which frankly appears to be an awful lot. I also want to thank Dave Kaufman for that wonderful segment of be in the bathroom with them, have an orgy with them, or be at a dinner party with them. Once again, we will be back tomorrow night at 9:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time right here on twitch.tv/@home-with-James. Tell everyone about the show. We're looking to build that audience, sort of hype train, as the nerds tend to say. I gotta be kinder to the nerds. They've embraced me in a way in which that my family hasn't even embraced me, and some of my friends. So that's happening on Twitch. Tomorrow night, Dimitri Kires, otherwise known as the Captain, will be here. Carla Ma will be here. And don't forget, Friday night, the Clash of the Super Nerds. Saturday night, I jump in to the Ruth booth as Dave Kaufman brings us the full-length version of Dr. Ruth's A Game of Good Sex. Until then, I am James. You are you. We were here. Good night, goodbye, farewell, and be well.